we're back to discuss Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. If you saw our review, we were mixed on it. It's not great, it's not terrible. Really, like, every time there was, like, a snappy... You could see, like, the screenplay come through, where, like, there'd be this snappy, like, one-liner button on a scene. And someone like Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element would nail that line. There's a lot of people that would nail those parts, would nail those lines. It almost wanted, like, just as an example, and not that this is what I wanted to see, but, like, take Nathan Fillion and any of the female characters from Serenity and replace them for the leads, and you have, like, a 50% better movie, because they're going to nail those lines, they're going to nail that chemistry. Dane DeHaan's character needed to be, like, I don't know, like, the whole thing that they set up at the beginning of, like, the unrequited love thing just doesn't work.
Didn't work.
No. They don't make it believable at all. They're they're either, like, too confident when they shouldn't be, or too vulnerable when they shouldn't be. Like, it's never the right mix of what works for the scene that they're in, and then it just changes from scene to scene. The biggest, like, sore thumb stuck out part of it for me was at the end when they had to have a conversation about whether or not to turn the little creature over. It's like, where the hell have you been, dude? Like, why do you have to... She has to explain that that's what love is so that you'll decide to give them the creature? Like, this has been... The whole third act of the movie has been about doing this, and you guys need to discuss it again, and he doesn't get it, and you're like, man, he doesn't deserve to be in a relationship with anybody. Oh, they're in a relationship because he said, I guess that's fine. It's like, for better or worse? Worse, really? Yeah, worse too. Okay, I guess so.
They were both tools through the whole movie.
It was awkward.
Guys, he's gonna erase his entire playlist for her.
The first part of the movie was very sluggish for me. It wasn't until, bar none, best character, Bubbles, entered. When she entered,
she was the highlight.
That was the best thing ever.
And at first I was like, Rihanna?
Proceeded to be really interesting for about 5 minutes, and then die.
Yeah.
But think about Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's character was only on there for like a minute and a half, and he is the most memorable thing outside of Bubbles from that movie.
Yeah.
I felt like it was something where in the beginning he's like, well, you're my partner. I felt like it was like an assigned... I know you're assigned a partner, but it was like an assigned relationship. Like, oh, we're running low on people. You two have to get together. And they were fighting it. Like, it would have been better had they not had a romance, or because
if they had like gone the full mile of, like, she knows he's interested and she's just like messing with him.
Yeah.
That sort of a thing where she's like super confident and she's just like, you know, yeah, whatever. I know he loves me. Whatever.
Well, see, in the comic, it's Valerian is in love with her, and Lorelai couldn't care less. Like,
and that came through in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's a fine way to set up a comic, and the way to do that in a movie like this is to not have a scene where, like, she's then manipulating him to do what she wants based on his... Like, again, it's that creature scene. That creature scene is totally wrong for that relationship.
Yeah.
If she's not interested, she shouldn't be using that to manipulate him and to do things that she wants him to do. Like, that's not how you teach someone about love. That's how you teach someone about manipulation. Let's talk about the playlist for a minute. Does anyone else have, like, understand, like, what the implications of what that is?
Yeah.
In a world where virtual reality is pretty much, like, the norm? I'm pretty sure the playlist was like his virtual porn collection. I don't think it was real people.
Oh,
That was my takeaway from it.
that you might be right. Yeah.
Oh no, I got the impression. I got the impression they were trying to say that in that future society that you kind of put notches on your bedpost, so to speak, and that was like public knowledge and reason to brag.
I took it as his little black book.
That's kind of where I was at, but I think you might be onto something.
I mean, I don't think they came out and said either way, but there was something about it that just struck me that they're walking out of a virtual reality simulation, and she's like, "Well, maybe I should be the only one on your playlist," and she pops it all up, and I'm like, I kind of think that's his thing.
Possibly.
And then, like, if that was his thing, they shouldn't have, like, keep the flirting back and forth, but don't go into love and don't go into I'll marry you, and, like, it's just awkward. Like, it didn't work. Their chemistry,
So
anything that they had going on together was just, if they were in separate scenes, it was fine. If they were on the screen together, it was just...
like the romantic story, the romantic through line in The Fifth Element is similarly like disassociated from the story until it becomes the main point of the story. Like it doesn't seem like it is, but then all of a sudden, like it's all that matters. And it felt like they were trying to have that moment again in this movie.
Didn't hit.
But it doesn't hit because we don't see everything is told to us, it's not shown to us. We don't see the actual, like in The Fifth Element, there's that whole sequence where she's unconscious and he's like taking care of her, and you can kind of see the seed planted for him to be interested, and
Right.
I know that they're young and they're in their 20s, I'm sure, but the entire time, all I could think of was, these are teenage kids. These are just high school kids that are really smart, and I couldn't put myself into like, these are actual adults.
Because I don't know the source material. I don't know how these two are supposedly the most badass whoever's they are.
Yeah.
Who get assigned to do whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Felt like Ender's Game a little bit inside,
It is a lot like it.
they didn't have strong enough personality scene to scene. It was almost like they were doing whatever the scene they were in called for, and not working with an established, like, here's who we are, here's what we're doing. And that's why, like, so many things just sort of came out of nowhere and didn't make sense. And
Go see it if you want to see something pretty.
yeah, I think it was pretty, and I think we missed out on some things for not seeing it in 3D. But because AMC is showing, like I said in the review video, all the large screens here are showing. I mean, it's Dunkirk, Apes is in its second week, Spider-Man's in its third week, and they're not putting Valerian on a big screen. So I think people are being cheated a little bit, honestly. I mean, I think I'm not going to go see this again, and I would have preferred to have seen it like big and 3D like it was intended.
Can you explain why his name is the title? That was kind of annoying. Like, you're yelling Valerian, and she has a different name. And I'm like, what? Like,
why are you the main character?
why are you? Yeah, like, why can't your name be like Max?
Yeah, I mean,
What's the name of the comic?
Yeah, that's the only thing I could figure.
That was, yeah. I don't know. Sorry.
yeah, maybe they want
I
to.
thought the same thing. And I agree with you, it was way too long. It was like at least a half hour, 45 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's so many like cliche moments that happen in this movie. Like the bomb you stopped at 1 second. Really?
Yeah.
We're doing that?
Yeah.
I
Like-
usually said that in the theater.
Just
I was like, really? 1 second?
evil guy, big confession thing going on. I almost expected like the aliens to turn on the humans, and be like, well, we're gonna make our paradise by destroying your home or something like that. Cool, but just kind of nothing. I felt like.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I like it a bit better than that. It's not my favorite Luc Besson movie, but I think it's better than it really could have been. I think it really. I honestly, I think with better casting, it would have been a very tolerable, very like.
I agree. They could have aimed older on all the characters for one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's not. I don't think that the age of the actors is the problem so much as the actors are the problem.
Well, I think part of the challenge is also they're basically acting with green screen the whole time, and there's so much action going on around them. There's not time for them to be a character in this movie at all. The only characters that really got to stand out at all were like the three idiot guys that were selling secrets and Bubbles and
right. And to be fair,
that's
like
the only ones.
In The Fifth Element, Bruce Willis plays Bruce Willis.
Right.
Sure.
Like
Right.
he's not a character that you can differentiate from.
But if you watch The Fifth Element, there's stuff going on in The Fifth Element, but it's not so much that you can't recognize him as a character in it. It focuses on him long enough that you get to know him.
Right, because he's the actual protagonist of the movie instead
Right.
of it kind of flips around back and forth.
Right.
Like there's this whole sequence of this movie where Valerian is unconscious and Lorelei has to save him, and it's like, oh, the movie's from her perspective now. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, but that probably shouldn't have been the name of the movie. You know.
The aliens that they had to infiltrate with Bubbles, that was a really confusing set of scenes for me, actually, because we're trying to avoid a diplomatic problem, and he ends up just straight up murdering their entire, like, royal family and bunch of guards.
Yeah, I mean, tone-wise, there were problems with how violent it was. Like, there's no reason that anyone really had to die in this movie. I mean, apart from the race at the beginning, that's important to the story, but the rest of it's like, it should have stuck more cartoony, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not that, like, I couldn't handle the violence, or the violence was, like, it's just tonally it was wrong for the story.
Right.
Yeah.
That these people were dying. And it was shown in a cartoonish way. Like, even though people were dying, like you said, like the Emperor, they shot that in a cartoony fashion.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was kind of okay with the rest of there was like a lot of collateral damage that was clearly happening in a lot of scenes where he was chasing the other ship and shooting inside of a city of 1,000 worlds.
Sure.
He's clearly killing some people by just missing a lot.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like... That's maybe in the top 100 problems with the movie. So, yeah.
So did you get the impression that Luc Besson tried to sort of keep it in the same universe as The Fifth Element? Because there was at least one of the aliens of the council or whatever that looked like the opera singer from...
I think that's probably more of a coincidence than anything else. And the opera singer also looks like one of the races from Star Wars. So I think that's probably the
You probably
case.
had Jean-Paul Gaultier do
I mean, there's
costume.
there's movies that have problems with tone that like eventually figure it out and get better at it. Like, a lot of people forget at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy when he's doing that dance in the credits, and he just like randomly kicks this animal. It's like, the first time I saw that, I was like, really? We're gonna have like our main character is gonna be like committing animal cruelty, and that's gonna be funny. And then by the end of the movie, you forget it. And by the time you've seen it 2 or 3 times, you don't even notice it. So, Valerian. It's really hot here.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you like the way we do these, please like the videos, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.